Yo, what's going on? I appreciate everybody joining the live tonight. And this is going to be an interesting attorney reaction because I had an initial opinion that went one way. Then when I learned some facts, I was like, you know what? I'm going to call Finesse on one side of this equation. But this is going to be dope because we're going to talk about Michael Oher and his lawsuit that he had filed against his family. If you're new to the channel, I'm Marcus, the debt free dad. Over here, we're talking finances, financial takes, financial topics, attorney reactions, all of that good stuff, current events in between. Licensed attorney, but not your attorney, not legal, not financial advice. Just letting y'all know what's going on, over here and giving my opinion on topics. So let's dive in. Now, some of y'all probably seen the movie The Blindside. I'll tell you, I'd never seen the movie The Blind Side. I seen it in stores. I remember back in the day, it was in the DVD bin that you used to rummage through. I never seen the movie. It just didn't strike me as something that I was interested in. Long story short, the premise of the story is an affluent white family adopts a homeless black child who's caught up in the system in foster care and group homes, and they cultivate and provide for this kid, and he ultimately makes it to become an NFL player. Yo, that's a dope story. It's a true story, and it was great. Michael Oher actually wrote a book that was a bestseller. He made some money from a book, and he's actually about to come out with a second book right now. We'll talk a little bit about that. So we thought everything was great. So let's get a little bit of background. Michael Oher played with the Ravens, played with the Panthers. He played 8 years in the NFL, and I looked it up. His NFL salary was somewhere in the range of 21 to 25 million dollars. So think about it, 21 to 25 million dollars over an 8-year NFL career. Let's just say he probably took home anywhere between 12 to maybe 15, if we're going to be generous, 15 million. But he had the average career is 4 years. He had an 8-year career, made about $25 million. He probably made some more money from endorsements. He probably made some more money from revenue related to other ventures that he has going on. But an 8-year career. Well, now Michael Oher has actually filed a lawsuit, and he's asserting, and this is interesting because we're going to go ahead and dive and watch the video. But he's asserting that what he thought was adoption paperwork ended up not being an adoption paperwork. It was actually a conservatorship. Now, DFD, what is a conservatorship? Essentially, think of a conservatorship as something that someone signs where you essentially give up your right to control your finances. I think it was, I don't know, was it Britney Spears or one of those pop stars who I don't listen to who had a whole big, huge conservatorship battle. Now, the facts of the conservatorship was he signed the paperwork just after he turned 18. The language in that conservatorship was supposed to expire at the age of 25, but it just kind of went on, continued to go, and it never expired. It never lapsed. So now Michael Oher is like, yo, hold up. Where's my money from the blind side? Okay. I need my blind side money. I need my blind side ends. We got to null and void this conservatorship. So let's go ahead, dive in, take a look. And we got two videos we're going to watch. We're going to watch the first video where they're actually talking about what's going on from Michael Oher's side. Then we're going to see a video from the side of his family. So it's going to be interesting. Let's go ahead and cue things up. Hold on. Before we jump in, I gotta give y'all my original take, okay? Before I looked into the facts, and like we all get caught up in the moment, like, damn, DFD, you attorney, you should always say, let's look at the facts first. Yes, I say that, but when I hear a story or an event, I make an initial reaction, and then I say, nah, wait a minute. Based on that initial reaction, let me take a look and see what was going on. Because again, I never watched The Blind Side, so I had no sense of reference as to the family that adopted him. If I watched the movie, I probably would have had a different initial reaction. But as soon as I heard that he filed the lawsuit, my initial thought was, oh man, I hope they didn't finesse this guy out of anything that he was entitled to. That was my initial reaction. I'm telling y'all my initial reaction because it's changed. I'm gonna give y'all the play by play as we watch the video.
The family at the center of the Oscar-winning film The Blindside, now on defense.
Do you have any place to stay tonight? Don't you dare lie to me.
After former NFL player Michael Oher filed a lawsuit against them, he was lied to and exploited for their financial gain. But the Tuohy family is flipping the script. In a statement to NBC News, their attorney alleges Oher previously threatened them in an attempted shakedown, saying he would plan a negative story about them in the press unless they paid him $15 million. In an interview Monday promoting his new book, Oher did not address the lawsuit, but expressed some frustration with how he was portrayed.
Being with the Tuohy's family, I'm grateful for letting me stay my senior year there. But you have to understand, and I was an All-American football player. I moved in with him.
You want to stay here, Michael?
Just as the film depicts, Oher describes in new court documents how he was on his own in high school and nearly penniless. He says in 2004, just before his senior year, the Tuohys invited him to live with them, eventually discussing adoption. Oher claims he was tricked into signing documents he believed were a necessary step in the adoption process.
All right, stop. Let's take a quick pause right here because it was a lot of information. We got some more video to watch, but definitely got to break this down. The first thing that just jumped out is like, okay, all of this comes up right at the time you're releasing a new book, bro. Like, I don't know, I might be team Tuohy on this one, but we're gonna talk a little bit about it. So he has a new book coming out. This lawsuit drops. The Tuohy's attorney is essentially saying that, yo, he tried to shake us down with text messages to get some money from us, right? So let's keep in mind he's about 8 or 9 years removed from the NFL, right? So if we just look at it objectively, right? These are all these are allegations, but if we just look at it objectively, what a one thing that NFL athletes, sports athletes, hell, regular people are known to do. A vast majority of people, if you got 60-70% of the population who live paycheck to paycheck, you know what that means? 60 to 70% of people in the NFL and the NBA live paycheck to paycheck. So statistically, we know that a lot of athletes, about 5 to 6 years after they're playing, they ain't got no ends. They committing healthcare fraud and trying to scam the Mississippi, the Mississippi welfare program. So we know statistically, if it's a money grab, just from a time frame, he made about 25 million from playing. He's 8 years removed from playing. If he was irresponsible with his ends, it would start to show. The other thing is like, hey, we gotta call a spade, right? I gotta call it like I see it. We gotta call a spade a spade. The other thing is like, yo, you were okay at 18. You didn't know what you were signing. You thought it was general adoption paperwork, but it was a conservatorship. You know what? My mind is willing to buy that. I'm like, you know what? At 18, I signed some stuff I didn't need to sign. I wasn't reading everything like I should have. I mean, hell, sometimes now things slip through the crack. So I'm willing to even buy that side of the story. Here's where it gets wild. You sign it at 18. You have no clue about it. Now 19, 20, 21, 22. You probably about 24, 23, maybe when he enters the NFL. Then you have an 8-year run from 23, 8 years from that. At no point in time when the NFL checks were coming in, did them not giving you money appear to be an issue, right? I mean, let's just be honest. Like, once you're in the NFL, you got enough resources and leverage and people in your corner who you can say, yo, check out this adoption paperwork. Is this legit? What's going on? Whatever happened with the ends from that movie? I never seen anything from it. You had 8 years of NFL time and paycheck where you had the resources to actually look into this and find out what was going on. But as long as those game checks was coming in, no complaints popped up, no issues popped up. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, why did it take so long to file the lawsuit? There's a couple of reasons that could be valid reasons. I mean, one, he asserts that he just found out about it in February. I'm like, bro, you sounded at 18 and you 37 and you just found out about it in February of 2023. Get the out of here. I think that sounds kind of crazy personally, but he says he didn't find out about this conservatorship until February of this year, which is wow. I can't believe that a grown ass man, 37 years old, who signed something at 18, who made $25 million over an 8-year playing career, didn't have the resources to look into it. So, one, he said he just found out about it, which I'm going to call cap on that. I don't think that he just found out that he signed the paperwork for a conservatorship. I just think that that's bogus. So I'm going to call cap that I don't believe him when he said he just found out in February about this whole situation. That's point number one. Now, the legitimate reason why he could have brought the lawsuit up is it could be fact-finding. Okay, I know it's a conservatorship, but let me get a breakdown of the monies that were potentially misused or misappropriated. And so that can be a fact-finding process where you probably got to get investigators. You got to look at gross receipts from the movie theater. So, hey, there could be a legitimate reason as to why it took so long, but him saying he found out in February, he gets the blue cap on that one. Now let's go ahead and finish checking out the rest of this video. It's funny because he said he was an All-American, which is true, before he moved in with the Tuohy family, which is, again, is true.
6 months ago, he says he learned he's never adopted. Instead, Sean and Leah Tuohy became his conservators. In an interview with the Daily Memphian, Sean Tuohy said the conservatorship was a way to secure Oher's NCAA eligibility to play college football, saying lawyers advised we couldn't adopt over the age of 18. The only thing we could do was to have a conservatorship. Oher claimed.
Okay, now they do have adult adoptions. People do that. It's people do get adult adoptions. That is a thing. This is an important thing right here, and this for me is what made me Team Tuohy. What made me Team Tuohy on this? Okay, like initially I was like, oh man, I hope they ain't finesse this guy. The Tuohys are an affluent family. And when I say affluent, I don't mean like Cosby affluent, okay? I mean affluent. Apparently, the father, Mr. Tuohy, sold his business interests well before they even knew who this guy was, well before they even knew who Michael Oher was. But apparently, Mr. Tuohy sold his business interests for the sum of, let's get this, $200 million. $200 million. So this family was wealthy as hell way before they met him. Okay. $25 million that Michael Oher made in his playing days. All right. I got the movie numbers. The movie, apparently, they got allegedly about $225,000 for the movie, plus 3% of the movie's profit. The movie gross receipts was $300 million. Now, if it was 3% of $300 million, we're talking $9 million. But let's back out. Gross receipts isn't profits. You get the gross receipts. That's just how much money they took in, how much money the movie actually made. Now you got to talk about paying everybody, production costs, advertisement costs, all of those other things that have to be paid out. So that movie probably made nowhere near 300 million because the gross receipts were 300 million. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. If the movie did make 300 million profits, I think 300,000. If the movie did make 300 million profits, which we know it didn't, those are the gross receipts. But even if it did, they would have pulled in $9 million from that. This dude sold his businesses decades ago, multiple decades ago, for $200 million. So his incentive to finesse this guy out of anything is just dropped exponentially for me personally, just looking at it from an objective standpoint.
Tuohy's used their power as his conservators to give away the rights to his life story without him receiving any payment, while they profited. Now he wants the money he believes he's owed. Denies the accusations.
How come we're not getting money US on us tonight? Well, because tonight is a special occasion.
Sean Tuohy built and sold a successful restaurant empire. His attorney saying the legitimate couple worth hundreds of millions of dollars would connive to withhold $1,000 in profit participation payments from anyone, let alone from someone they loved as a son, defies belief.
That's 100% facts right there. They have no incentive to take the 9 million from the movie or the 15 million that he's asking for, or I mean anything from this guy, you know. And let's play it. I'll talk about that a little later.
End to the conservatorship. Tuohy's attorney says should Mr. Oher wish to terminate the conservatorship either now or at any time in the future, never oppose it. They add the family hopes someday be reconciled with Oher. They will not hesitate to call an offensive lawsuit. Guys.
All right, thank you so much, Kaylee. Let's bring in NBC senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett. First of all, this is just a
All right, now we're not gonna get her legal expertise on this because I'm giving y'all mine. so we gonna go ahead and close that out. But I think that video was really interesting because their family already had hundreds of millions of dollars, and everything about this just smells bad to me. The fact that the family asserts that they have text messages that he was going to launch out these bogus claims. That's point number one. And one, I don't think that I'm not going to say people wouldn't lie about that, but generally when people say, unless you're for something like this, that's kind of a business lawsuit, is business money involved. Generally, when people say that they got text messages, they probably do. And you know, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, people communicate through text message and like, yo, if you're gonna make some bogus, stupid threat like that, allegedly, I think you probably should just call and do it over the phone instead of sending a text message. But it just makes no sense. This dude he had franchises, restaurant franchise. He sold for $200 million. The family was extremely well off. And let's just back up. Let's take money out of it, okay? Let's take money out of this, okay? Knowing the background, right? Because I didn't watch the movie. Now that I know the background and how affluent this family was, it even makes them taking this big ass dude in their home and letting them live and grow up around their family even more impressive to me, right? It would be one thing if it was an average middle class family. They saw this big ass guy who was already an all-American athlete, and they said, sure, you can come live with us. Cha-ching. But the facts and circumstances doesn't support a version of the story that would go with those type of facts. They were already established. They already had money. They met this kid who was an all-American, and they thought, you know what? He can become a real success if he has a little bit more structure. So, I mean, like, I think it takes a very big person to adopt somebody like that. Especially, like, think about it. Like, adoption, people, like, there's a lot of, I worked in a group home before. So, I know the type of environment that Michael Oher came up in high school. I used to work in an environment like that. It's not easy. Like, yo, it's not easy. Those kids have a real hard knock life. So it's really dope when you actually do find a family who want to support them and who has resources to support them. So just the fact from a financial standpoint doesn't support them trying to finesse him out of money. I mean, I'm going to just be honest. In my opinion, I think it is a finesse going on, but I think it's from Michael Oher's side of this story. It looked like somebody may have fumbled their bag. They may have fumbled their NFL money, just looking at all the allegations. Now, the Tuohys haven't yet filed their reply to the lawsuit that was filed. Is going to be interesting. But hey, they standing on it. They're like, yo, y'all not going to attack us. This is what's going on. Now, I wanted to play another video. This is the son. He grew up with Michael Oher. They consider themselves brothers. I thought that this video was really interesting, and I'm just going to be honest. It comes off as sincere. His demeanor, his vocal inflection, his body reaction, they come off as sincere. And hey, I'm not a body language expert, but I've had, I don't know, hundreds hundreds of hours of training and conducting interviews and interrogations and investigations, and I've sat through witness testimony and cross examinations. I kind of know when someone is given a disposition that's disingenuous. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Check this out.
It was a matter of time. I knew it was coming. I mean, it was a matter of time. I'm surprised that it happened the way that it did.
Sean Tuohy and his son SJ, whom he shares with his wife Leanne, speak out after Michael Oher filed a lawsuit against them.
Back to Blindside. When you look at him, you think of me.
On Monday, Sean Tuohy Jr., who goes by SJ, opened up to Barstool Sports, saying this lawsuit was a long time coming.
I think when he stopped playing and everything kind of settled down, I think it built up over time for him.
Michael and the Tuohy family inspired the 2009 film The Blindside after they took in the football star when he was young.
I'm a proud mother, obviously. I think I birthed him. I want you to do whatever you want. It's your decision, Michael. It's your life.
The couple was played by Tim McGraw and Sandra Bullock, who won an Academy Award for her role.
I love stories about passion and love, love of country, love of people, love of sport. It makes a good film. I think that Sandra did a great job portraying me in it.
According to the 14-page filing, Michael's legal team claims he was manipulated into making the Tuohys his conservators less than 3 months after he turned 18 in 2004.
Let's fast forward a bit to hear from SJ, the son.
He said he learned that in February. I went back to my text back in 2020, 2021. That they were like, if you guys give me this much, then I won't go public with it. Everyone learned in the past year about conservatorship stuff because of Britney Spears, so maybe that's the case.
Like Britney, Michael believes he lost money as a result of the conservatorship, alleging the family earned millions of dollars in royalties from the movie that he never received, and they continue to profit off his story. But SJ denies all that, claiming he's made just $60,000 to $70,000 over the course of the last 4 or 5 years. And in an interview with the Daily Memphian, SJ's dad says the family is devastated and adds that the allegations are upsetting, but they are going to love Michael at 37, just like they loved him at 16.
It wasn't like it was an agenda. He had a need. We recognized it.
Now Michael is asking the courts to end his conservatorship and to bar the family from using his likeness.
When you worked as hard as I did, man, to have the credit go to somebody else, it rubs me the wrong way.
Some people online are pointing out the timing of the lawsuit, claiming it was tied to the release of his book, When Your Back's Against the Wall, Fame, Football,
Finesse your folks when your back's against the
I
wall.
was a purchaser of the book. I supported it. There's good truth in there. I don't know if coincidence or not. I mean, it seems obviously tough timing.
But SJ says he still considers Michael his brother.
There's not going to be any legal dossier or
Legal dossier.
happens going to be, go like, screw that guy. So it's not the case. I understand anger, and I hope that it'll play out. There's nothing to hide, which makes it easier. But it's going to sting publicly, and a lot of people have opinions on it.
All right, so that's the story. Hey, I gotta tell y'all, man, I'm kind of leaning towards Team Tuohy in this one. Like, all the facts make sense, and let's just be real. Let's just back up, okay? Let's back up and rewind, okay? We talked about in the beginning of this video I talked about in the beginning of this video how it is important and it takes a special type of person to invite a child that's not yours in your home. And they didn't go and get like a 3-year old or a 5-year old. This guy brought a 16, 17-year-old kid who's probably 6'5", 220 pounds, who probably could whip his ass into his house because he knew that, yo, I got some resources and I can help this guy out. So I I thought it was that's point number one. Point number two is like let's be honest, is the family entitled to something considering that they gave you structure? I mean, we got to give the family some. I get it that you are a top-notch athlete, but there are a lot of top-notch athletes who don't have structures and they end up missing an eye wandering the streets of DC after playing 1 year at Georgetown. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of scenarios like that. So I think that me personally, just looking at the allegations and the facts that we know allegedly so far, like yo, I think that the family deserve a little bit of credit considering they took this dude in. That's just kind of my take. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the comments. Yeah, yeah, it was Britney Spears. Her conservatorship though was on some slave stuff though. They had they had Britney Spears, do research like the lead attorney. Hey man, I did research, man. I just didn't do it initially. When I first hear something, I jump to a wild conclusion. Then I say, wait a minute, that's a conclusion. Let me go ahead and figure out what's going on in this story. You don't do research. Yeah, there's a reason that the Tuohys were investigated by the NCAA over all going to their alma mater university. That's probably true, but I'm sure that they did what a lot of parents did. They did what Cam Newton daddy did. Is hey, they probably like, yo, we got an all pro here. We can make sure you go to your school if y'all give us a nice little kickback under the table. That kickback could have been a job, uh, somebody else going to school and their family for the Lowski. It could have been anything, but I mean, I'm not even going to hold that against them. If the Tuohys use some method to get a benefit or a kickback from him going to their alma mater, join the club. Cam Newton father, they still don't know where the money that Cam Newton father allegedly got. You know why? Because he was a pastor of a church. It was too cash heavy. So I'm not even going to fault them if there was any kickback or pay to play going on there. Okay, it was for each family member the payout that they got. No matter the payout. Now, no matter the payout or residuals from the movie or using his likeness, it's just a hard story for me to swallow because that amount would pale in comparison to the 200 plus million that this family was already worth, in my opinion. These are allegations. We don't know all the facts yet, but it just makes it very hard for me to believe. Now I know, hey, it's definitely a fact that people who rich as hell always want more, but I don't know, man. My question is, if there's no finessing, why not just agree to end the conservatorship? Why fight it and keep it in place? Well, yeah, I mean, but you see it from the video, they're not trying to fight it. Which they're like, yo, if you want to end it, you just want to end it. Literally, if you want to get, the courts are all about equity and fairness. This is how it should go, sir. This is me. If Judge DFD was presiding over the case when I had on my black bathrobe and my gavel, this is the breakdown. You signed it at 18. It was supposed to end at 25. It didn't. The court never ended. It went on indefinitely. So anything from the time that conservatorship should have ended to currently, they have no right to. So any monies that were made from age 25 to what he is right now at 37, y'all gonna have to pay him that. Y'all gotta pay him whatever it is. So if from age 25 to 37, if y'all made $5 million off of that movie and another 3 million off of things associated with his image and likeness. 25 to 37, that's all him. Anything that y'all made from 18 to 25, he signed into that when he was a lawful adult. At 18, you can smoke cigarettes, you can kill for your country, and you can enter into a contract. Just ask Discover Card. I signed that thing at 18, and it was a thorn in my side for years. But you entered into a violent contract unless they can show some type of undue influence or duress, which they probably won't be. From 18 to 25 is fair game, I think. I think that's the most equitable way that a court could look at it. 18 to 25, valid contract entered into. They had the rights. Any money that they made from that, they're entitled to. 25 to current, the conservatorship should have ended. It didn't. Any monies that they made from 25 on, from your age of 25 to current, hey, that's all yours. I think that's probably the best way to do it. But I'm gonna just be honest, like it just smells of someone. I hope this isn't the case because I hate to see young brothers who had millions of dollars not have millions of dollars in a short ass period of time. But it's just giving for me a smell of somebody who came on tough financial times. They may have been some mismanagement of the bag. He maybe fumbled and bumbled his NFL bag, and now he doing a money grab. Because at the end of the day, like, let's just think about it. Like, if you got a family this connected, why would you even? I don't know. Maybe this is just me. I can't see the benefit of saying y'all owe me $15 million. Like, yo, you know how easy it is for you to go to them and say, yo, this is what I like to do. Can you plug me with somebody or career opportunity where I can make money? I think the resources that they could provide him is worth way more than $15 damn million. I mean, let's just be honest, $15 million. If his attorney's doing this on a contingency fee, which they probably are, because I'm sure he didn't pay a big ass retainer and paying these guys by the hour, they would take a third of that $15 million anyway. So he would get $10 million. And then if the money that he gets, because it's money from a conservatorship, that money that he should have been entitled to, there may be some tax liability or obligations associated with that money. I think it's just it's crazy. It's a crazy situation. I'm gonna actually check the movie out. I don't know. I'm probably not. I'm probably not, because now I know how it ended. Like, once I know how a movie ends, I'm just kind of like, do I really want to see Titanic? I know the boat sinks at the end, but now they could do Titanic 2. People went to go see the Titanic and it didn't go too well. That would be a different story that may capture other attention. But I don't know. I might watch the movie. I might not. I don't know. Probably I'm leaning towards a no. But I think that this is definitely a little bit of gamesmanship here, a little bit of a finesse opportunity. But I think it's not coming from the Tuohy family. I think it's coming from Michael Oher's side, in my opinion. Now we got to take a look and see how the facts come out, how the facts play out. But yo, you just found out about this thing that happened for 2 decades 6 months ago. I'm calling BS on that. That doesn't pass the smell test, in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna check out the movie. I'm gonna check it out since you talking about it. I'm gonna actually check out the movie and see if I have a different take on this. But right now, DFD is Team Tuohy. Say what y'all want. Hey, like, say what y'all want about me. The story is just not adding up. It doesn't pass the sniff test. That means when I smell, it smells bad. It sounds a little fishy. You just found out about this stuff. You're 8 years in the NFL. We don't know how your finances is looking. There's a high probability, hopefully not, but there's a high probability that you fumbled the NFL bag. Now you might just be doing a money grab. So, I don't know. Hopefully I don't get ousted by the black internet community for being Team Tuohy. But just on the facts that we got and the allegations we know so far, it's looking a little fishy for you, Michael, or it's looking like a money grab. I mean, he had no say about his portrayal in the movie, but he played an all-pro football player who lived with some nice uh all-American folks who let him in. Like, was it a bad portrayal? They didn't have him like sniffing cocaine or nothing. Like if the movie was The Blind Side and like he was like just out there wilding, then I would be like, you know what? This Blind Side thing is a little wild. Y'all had me looking kind of crackish in this movie. But how bad could the depiction have been? That was the reason I watched the Titanic. They got Titanic too. Ocean Gate. It's like, oh, that's terrible. But yeah, I think this is a money grab, in my opinion. It didn't let me down either. I think this is definitely a money grab on Michael Oher's part. And I think it's the wrong way to go about it. And it could be some gamesmanship because he got a book coming out. I'll be honest, this definitely don't make me want to read his book. like, like this definitely makes me not want to read his book. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see something real quick. Let me pull. All right, this is. Let me see. I'm pulling up this dude's book. This book is hilarious. Okay. All right, now before we say this, because I don't want to get hit up for libel or slander, right? But hey, right now the facts just don't make sense. I'm leaning towards Team Tuohy. It looked like it might be a money grab. We don't know yet, but it's kind of smelling bad. But it's funny that it's interesting that this came up. And the title of his book, let's go ahead and pull it up on the screen. The title of Michael Oher's book is. Oh, let me see if I can enlarge this real quick. When your back is against the wall. I don't know. The title of that book, it kind of is indicative of maybe they might be some. It might be some financial strains there. It might be some financial pressures when your back is in the wall against the wall. That's the question. The title of this book is the question. If it's a financial problem and your back is against the wall, what do? You try to do a money grab and finesse the folks who gave you a chance? Because I'm gonna just be honest. If it was me, and like, I mean, 8 years, and when the NFL checks came in, there was no issue of this because he said he didn't know about it. I just can't believe that. Like, I don't know. I think that sounds really unbelievable, and any jury hearing that facts would be like, bro, you didn't know about this for 2 decades? Come on now, like. Yeah, that was their position off the break that they would end it though. So I mean, the other thing is, it could be some gamesmanship. Or he might have reached out and been like, "Hey, I want to try to get some book sales, so I'm gonna file this crazy ass lawsuit just to get everybody talking about it." But yo, when you're back against the wall, you're gonna do what you got to do to find the money grab that you got to make. Yeah, I got to put that legal disclaimer out because people they ain't don't come for me. You come over here and sue DFD Inc., you're gonna get these posters off the wall and this microphone and this laptop and this desk and this chair. That's all you getting. You ain't getting nothing else. Okay. So don't even try it, y'all. I made sure I gave all my disclaimer. If they have a conservatorship where they had access to all of his financials, even during his NFL career. Now, in theory, they would have access to it, but I definitely don't think that's the case, Aaron. And the reason I don't think that's the case is because if those NFL checks was coming up short, he would have raised hell the minute he got his signing bonus and it didn't hit his damn bank account. That's the only reason I don't think that even if they had a conservatorship, I think it stems around proceeds from the movie, maybe any other instances where his likeness and name may have been used or something to that effect. Like, then you got to understand, how do you determine the value of it? Like, okay, this family, the Tuohy family, is clearly a connected family in the business world. If they was like, yo, Mike, come over to this banquet, excuse me, or this fundraiser that we're having, how do you, that's going to be a problem, is how do the court evaluates? Well, the movie stuff is easy, but if we use you to do promo for our businesses, how do we calculate how much your promo directly contributed to the income and the proceeds we receive from this business venture? And that's a much harder question. So I mean, man, it'll take some mean ass auditors, and then that's considering if their book game is tight, if they got their books in order, if their books aren't in order, it'll be it'll be a real thing. But I definitely don't think that they messed with his NFL bag, because he would have raised hell. He would have raised hell as soon as he shook NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell's hand. I just want the blue cap, yeah. Yeah, I literally bought it just for that reason. I wear that hat too around the house. Like if I ask my son something and he give me something that doesn't make sense, I just be like, I put it on and just stare at him. I don't even say anything. I just put the hat on and stare at him as if I know that he's fabricating a story. Yeah, the movie, the books, all of that stuff, I think is fair game. Up until movie, books, all fair game for recovery under the conservatorship, only from the age of 18, from Michael Oher being 18 to 25. Because I think even if, I think they're going to, because them ending the conservatorship isn't going to be the end of the discussion. Because if they end the conservatorship, like you said, that doesn't do anything for the breakdown of the proceeds. So I think, the way that it would probably have to be broken up is, hey, we're ending the conservatorship, but the next discussion for any type of settlement, if this is a valid lawsuit, is how was the money broken down after you reach the age of 25? Because the conservatorship, according to the paperwork, was supposed to end. So from age 25 to now, you 37, how much money was made off of the movie and the books from this time frame? Now, that definitely works out in the Tuohy's favor, because like, I don't know. I just don't see anybody beating down the door to see the Blindside or to read Mrs. Tuohy's book on how she helped get this athletic, big, huge black kid into the NFL. I mean, no offense. I see the value in the structure they provided for him, but from the time that Michael Oher was 25 until current 37, I don't think that they made a lot of revenue. So that's going to be interesting to see how that breakdown goes in. But it's going to be an interesting story. But yo, it's terrible, man. This story highlights something, even though we don't know the facts. This story highlights something that is just actually awful. But like, yo, business relationships and family is just one of the messiest things that you could, honestly, in any business venture, I probably would err on the side of hiring a family member, just because. Like, I can remember having a rental property and like family members like, oh man, I want to rent that place. And I was like, nah, B. Like, no. Like, no, I like having tenants who don't know that I own the property. So if they miraculously see me over there one day inspecting the property, I just tell them that I work for the property management company. They don't know is my place. But no, I'm not going to rent a property to my family. I love my family, but I already know they're going to think they could pay me the rent late. They're going to be probably doing wild stuff in the house that they shouldn't be doing. I ain't got no time for that. I don't want to have to sit across from my family, a victim. So when you talk about family relationships and money, it goes very bad very quickly. It's kind of wild, but I think it's something that the main part there says to me. Yeah. Michael Oher's story is sus. His whole story is that joke. Yeah, that joke is mad sus. But yeah, business and family just generally don't mix. So I always stay away from it. But it's sad because if somebody screws somebody, the question is, did the family screw him, or is he trying to screw the family on the back end? Hey, in the game of screwage, like I said, it's looking sus for Michael Oher and DFD right now, as the facts stand and the allegations stand, is Team Tuohy because they worth 200 M's, and when you worth 200 M's, I think the need for you to steal $3, $6, $9 million is a little less relevant in my opinion. Even though, hey, folks with money is greedy as hell, they're gonna pay you with a cookout plate. Even though folks with money is greedy as hell, but I just don't think that his story is holding up and holding water. And it's sad, man, because like luckily they seem like a generally good family. Because if this whole story is sus as it smells to be coming from Michael Oher's side, it's terrible to just kind of shatter the relationship like that based off of you just wanting to get some money because you potentially or may have fallen on hard times. I think that's crazy, and I think that he just didn't capitalize on the resources. Or does it stay out? It says Tuohy's claim that the conservatorship was to protect him from NCAA sanctions, yet the movie and books came out after he graduated and was drafted. That's a good point. That gives me a question. Now, see, God damn it, Aaron. Now you're gonna make me go watch this movie because I'm thinking of it like, okay, that makes sense. Like the fact that you're reading that comment here and what you told me about his NFL and going to their alma mater. If I was gonna get a kickback, this is just from somebody who's, hey, I've been in the game of fraud and stopping finessers for a long time, or defending finessers, depending on how far back you want to go. If I was going to get a kickback from my university, I would want to do it in a way so that it didn't impact the eligibility of Michael Oher. Now that actually would be smart. that actually, I'm not going to say smart, but that's actually putting some thought into how we may. I'm not saying they did, but if it was a little bit of gamesmanship, like, yo, we got Michael Oher, this big dude is a beast. We'll send him to my alma mater, but we ain't gonna do it for free. Y'all gotta kick us back something. The school gives the money to Oher directly. It's going to be a problem. Now his eligibility comes into question, and this, back before people had the nice NIT deals and could get money in college. But if the family has a conservatorship, any kickback, whether it's jobs or money, if it flows to them through the conservatorship, it does give Michael Oher clean hands. It gives him the ability to say, yo, I don't know what they did. I signed this because I thought it was an adoption. If they did something shady with the school and got a kickback, it didn't come to me. I'm on a scholarship. So, I don't know. That's a good point. See, now that you mentioned that, now I'm gonna have to do a little bit of diving. But that would be if they put let's get this conservatorship in place because we don't want to impact their eligibility. Well, why would we need a conservatorship and why would your eligibility be impacted? Well, just in case we got a little quid pro quo from the school, you got clean hands and your eligibility to go into the draft or to play in college won't be impacted. It'll fall exclusively on us. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Are y'all team Oher in this? Are y'all team Tuohy? I'm leaning towards the Tuohy family. Don't counsel me, Black social media, but if you do, I'm just going based off of what we have so far and the allegations. We haven't broken down the facts just yet, but it's going to be interesting. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna watch the movie and I'll put a community post up if I transition from Team Tuohy to Team Oher. But I seriously doubt that face is the face of someone who seriously doubt that I'm gonna change my position. I would have to see something amazing like the Tuohy's gambling and using cocaine off of a stripper's butt or something. I'd be like, they might be in the wrong. But absent that, Michael Oher, you look like you may be taking an L on this, in my professional opinion. But hey, not legal advice, all allegations. Nobody come for me. It is what it is. That's funny. I'm Team Sandra Bullock. The only winner in this is Sandra Bullock. Can we give a round of applause for Sandra Bullock and her performance as Mrs. Tuohy winning the Academy Award? Let's go ahead and clap it up for Sandra Bullock, okay? Because she's the only winner in this whole Blindside story. Because of this story, I'm gonna watch the Blindside. The Blindside probably their residuals probably gonna go up in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and Sandra Bullock is gonna make a bag, and the Tuohy is gonna make a bag, and Michael Oher gonna be arguing with him over whose bag is it that the Tuohy's got. But shout out to Sandra Bullock. She is definitely the only one who's winning in this. So we definitely got to give her a round of applause. Even she is being attacked. But she should give, man, see, really? We giving back Oscars? Come on now. Society is crazy. What are they attacking her for? For playing a woman who might have allegedly did something wrong, but possibly didn't? Like, yeah, like people are just getting ridiculous. This cancel culture is like is the utterly worst. Sandra Bullock becomes relevant again. I know Sandra Bullock is winning because if you're a celebrity, any news is good news. Like they can let social media get upset. Yeah, she should give her Oscar back. Sandra Bullock don't give it. Sandra Bullock ain't giving nothing back. She don't care. She just know that people going to just keep going back and go and watch The Blind Side now. They gonna remaster it and everything. Black man, Black Twitter, y'all need to go to the black round. Wait to the background. Yeah, Black Twitter is like, like let's one. I don't know. Is it still Black Twitter or is it Black X now? Isn't Twitter X? I don't know. But in any event, it's just ridiculous. I don't. When Black Twitter moves, I just look at them reluctantly because let's just be honest, like social media isn't known for backing the best parties, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure 3 years ago everybody on social media, and the Black Twitter spirit was probably like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Now they're on the verge of going bankrupt. So like, nah. But yeah, this cancel culture is getting wild. Leave Sandra Bullock alone. Like, yo, hashtag leave Sandra Bullock alone, okay? I never even heard of that movie. Oh man, you never heard of that movie? I remember it vividly because I remember the cover. It was just like a little small 5'2" white lady standing next to this big guy who looked like Ving Rhames or something, and they were just walking off into the distance on the football field. They just needed exactly. Leave Sandra Bullock alone. People ain't got nothing better to do. Man, this whole attack culture is the worst. I didn't know what the hell was. I saw X on my phone and these things popping up. I was like, X, what the hell is this? I didn't know what it was. Then I was like, oh yeah, Elon Musk is trying to do everything that he can to see how fast he can rule Twitter. It's the worst. But yo, that's it for this video. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all let me know in the comments, is Michael Oher full of crap, or does he have a legitimate claim? Y'all take care. Y'all have a good evening. Peace.